What's up, everybody? Celtic Scarecrow here. Back with our video, get those 10 and 20 views. Man, I even looked this time. This is starting to become a tradition. If you can't tell, I am not feeling 100%. But the show must go on. Because, I'm trying to keep this thing regular, and I can do this when I wake up from naps. But a little bit of housekeeping. The end of the year is coming up. I am hoping to do a end of the year stream where I kind of say my thoughts on the year and the goals for next year. That'll be on Saturday. I am going to do a first ever inaugural stream on the gaming channel, and it'll be Borderlands. And I'm going to put a poll up in a few minutes and ask which character should I play as in the original Borderlands, which will be on the Twitter. But yeah, I think that's it. That's it. I just want to power through this, go get dinner, liquids. But it's Thursday. That means it's time for my NFL prediction. Week 17. Great week last week. Great week. If I picked with my brain and not what I wanted to happen, I would have won 15-1, but that did not happen. So I went 13-3. Great week. The games I missed were the Denver game. Did not see the Rams coming out and blowing them out. Carolina. I thought Detroit was red hot, and that would have been a good way for Carolina to get knocked out and secure a better draft pick. And the Falcons, who I thought had more fight in them to get that top seed. But my grand total for the year so far is 125, 105, and 2. So, if you bet with me, you bet on me the first half year, I do apologize. But if you bet on my stuff the back half year, you are welcome. But you shouldn't take my advice on bet. I am just some goofy, long-haired idiot from South Jersey. But enough of the chitty-chatty. Let's get to the games. And the Thursday night game, tonight's game, is the Dallas Cowboys versus the Tennessee Titans. Cowboys, the Titans are in a landslide right now. So it's one of those things where I think Dallas is going to try really hard to get that division. Then we go over to Sunday, where we have the Battle of the Birds. That is the Arizona Cardinals versus the Atlanta Falcons. Tickets as low as $30, apparently. Atlanta. I have no faith in either team. Kyler Murray is out. Atlanta's trying to figure out who on their team they're probably going to keep. Do they need to draft a quarterback? Next up, the Chicago Bears versus the Detroit Lions. What happened to Detroit's run defense? Carolina ran for, I believe it was 320 yards. God damn it! I have the World Juniors Championship tournament up in the background, and Slovakia just scored on Team USA, make it 2-2. Bastard, go America! Great shot though, great shot. But back to football. I think the Bears are going to follow that formula and take the W over the Lions. So, Bears. Next up, in a game that will probably end up with Brandon Perna's new time. Brandon, do us all a favor. Just stop writing new and just put the power sign up in the corner. Probably up to 14, 10 at this point. The Denver Broncos versus the Kansas City Chiefs. If you're picking against KC, you're an idiot. They're the better team. Denver has looked god awful. This might need a mercy rule in the game. The Miami Dolphins versus the New England Patriots. Not a good game at all. Miami should probably sit Tua for long term health and reasons, and the Patriots don't look good, but I don't think Tua's playing, so therefore I'm going New England. Christ, there's actually non-divisional games. We got the Indianapolis Colts versus the New York Football Giants. Giants, both teams are kind of meh. New York will win and secure their playoff spot. So, making that race for that last wildcard spot a lot tighter. Next up, the New Orleans Saints versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I am going New Orleans. Hear me out. They still can win the division. Philly really has nothing to play for. They're going to start Minshew. Yes, they almost beat Dallas with them. But I think New Orleans is kind of one of those things where it's like, hey guys, player, most of you might not be here, and I think they'll step up. That's why I'm going Saints. Also sets up a really great Week 18 game for the Saints and the Panthers. Skip my game. The Cleveland Indians versus the Washington Commies. Green Bay really needs Washington to lose here. I do not think it's going to happen. I think Riverboat Ron might just go nuts and just try to make sure his team gets in. So, Washington. The lowest ticket game on the docket, which tickets as low as $17. The Jacksonville Jaguars, who are roaring into playoff contention, versus the Houston Texans, who are looking very good in the stretch. Nothing to play for. That might be a good thing for them. But I think Jacksonville is just steamrolling right now. Setting up another great matchup in Week 18 for the division. Jaguars. Go into the 4 o'clock window where we have the San Francisco 49ers. My realistic number one to win the NFC right now. Versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Frisco has way too much. Too many weapons, too good of offensive line. Brock Purdy just doesn't need to just be careless with the ball. Niners will win easily. We got the New York Football Giants. I dare to say that. That sounds weird. They're very close to going back to being the New Jersey Jets. Wait. Correction. God damn it, Slovakia just scored. Pause. Rewind. We have the New York Jets, very close to being the New Jersey Jets again, where they are playing, versus the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle, they're going to try to right this ship. Jets are not playing well. Mike White is in, so that should... Mike White might be in. All I know is thanks for Sam Darnold thinking that the MILF Hunter would be better than him. Just saying. Next up, we have probably one of the biggest games of the day for like standings wise. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota's still playing for that number 1 seed. Green Bay needs to win to keep their playoffs hope alive. I'm going for the chaos. I'm going for Green Bay to win. Other than I want to watch a good stream on Sunday with Tom McDonald. Which will be after my gaming stream. Next up, the Battle of Southern California. The Rams versus the Chargers. Chargers. The Rams have not played good this whole season. Played great last week. Could make it a fight, but I think the Chargers have a little too much for them. And the Sunday night game. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore really has nothing to play for. They'll probably arrest Lamar Jackson. And Mike Tomlin's just too good of a head coach for his team not to almost be in playoff contention. So I'm going Steelers. I'm not doubting Mike Tomlin. Years have given him the leeway. So it's like Tom Brady. It's like You don't really want to bet against Brady because of years. But and the Monday night game, the best Monday night game that I have all year long, the Buffalo Bills versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Dare I say NFC Championship? God damn it! Slovakia just scored again. While recording, it went from 2-1 to 4-2. Team USA, you might need to do something to swing this momentum. 4 goals on 12 shots is not good. Hockey is my bread and butter. I definitely know more about hockey than I do football. I feel confident in hockey. But that was watching. I'm watching the replay right now. Oh, it's an own goal. It was an own goal. I thought that was so teammate. But yeah, back to this. Could be the AFC Championship game. I'm going Bills. I like that defense. I like that quarterback. Bengals have not looked great all year long. So Buffalo. And now to one of the biggest games of the day on Sunday. The Carolina Panthers, who, despite me loving watching them win, it's just hurting their draft stock, versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who have just looked god awful. I am picking with my brain. I have a new solution for Carolina, what I think they're going to do. And I am going the Panthers. We're going to run the ball down Tampa Bay's throat. They did look terrible last week against. Where's that game? Yeah, Arizona. Carolina can move the ball a lot better than Arizona. Sam Darnold is better than Arizona's backup. So I think it's just going to look a lot like last week, which means Carolina will be leading the division going into week 18, where they'll play New Orleans for the division. And this whole time, I'm like, oh, if we just get a quarterback, a real quarterback, like, be not as good this year, play great but lose, get a real quarterback next year, and we'll dominate the South. Well, making that a lot harder. If Carolina does make the playoffs, Steve Wilkes will be our head coach. I do think Carolina will be better off with a more offensive-minded head coach, but you cannot argue what the man has done. I might not make, but it's like, unless you can really get like Sean Payton. It's Sean Payton or Steve Wilkes if Steve Wilkes takes us to the playoffs. What I think Carolina will end up doing is trading the future with someone like Seattle or Detroit. Probably Detroit. To get into the top 3 so they can draft a quarterback. I personally want either Hayden Hooker or Will Leaves. I've heard Hooker is a more accurate Cam Newton. I've seen how well Cam Newton has played at times. If you get someone who can throw the ball better than Cam, that's great. Hayden Hooker, they say, Will Leaves is a Josh Allen type, big body, strong arm, mobile enough. I'll take that too. With this way his team runs, that would be just deadly. Also, I need a new jersey. I have 2 of each color, and every player but one is retired. I have in white jerseys. I have my first ever Panther jerseys, Kerry Collins. That thing's beaten up and destroyed. I'm gonna need to get a replacement for that. And Luke Kuechly. In black, I have Steve Smith, who did not want to sign my jersey. I went to Steelers Panthers game a couple years back, Thursday night. Stood right in the front row, asked him, nothing. Man was being a professional. I'm not going to judge him. He was being professional. And I have Greg Olson. And then in teal, I have Julius Peppers and Luke Kuechly, who's now no longer on the team. So the quarterback Carolina drafts next year will be my next jersey. But that's it. That is all I have. I do not know what it's going to take to move up. Maybe a first next year, and a third this year, and a third next year. Maybe, but that's all I have. I'll see you Weird People Saturday, which will be jam packed.